Hi everybody, this is Stacy with All My Magical Things, and I'm bringing to you today a process video in my Creative Commonplace book. And if you've been here before, welcome. I'm glad you're back. If you've never been here, you're new, welcome. I'm Stacy. I like to Creative Commonplace, and what I mean by commonplace, at least my definition, is collecting wisdom, other people's wisdom. Whether I read it in a book, see it online, hear a speaker, and I put it in my commonplace book, which is just a composition notebook that I've covered in stickers. And the creative part is I use paper and ribbon and paint and stickers and my own artwork and pom-pom trim and whatever I come across in my stash that makes it creative and colorful and something I will definitely want to come back and read and remember. So with that, all that being said, usually how I start my pages is I start with a piece of wisdom. And today's wisdom is a quote that I found on Instagram. And let me grab my other notebook here where I write some stuff down. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. It says, "Your time on earth is limited. Don't try to age with grace. Age with mischief, audacity, and a good story to tell." And that is that Wild Woman Sisterhood on Instagram. And that quote struck me because of somebody in my life. It reminds me of my grandma. And my grandma was young at heart, and she was just full of life and full of joy. And she taught me how to love unconditionally. And she is just the epitome of not aging with grace. She was the epitome of aging with mischief, audacity, and she had a good story to tell. Her favorite saying, when we would go out and do something, whether it was shopping or whatever, and we'd have something silly or funny happen, and she would say, "So guys, who has more fun than we do?" And so that my kids now, they say that when we're out and on our adventures. And by adventures, I mean just regular everyday life. And something silly happens, and they always say, "Hey, Mom, who has more fun than we do?" And so that's my grandma. I believe it's been 5 years since she's been gone. She passed away from liver cancer, and she's greatly missed. But she left a heck of a legacy. And that quote, as soon as I read it, I knew that was who she was. And so this page today is kind of dedicated to my grandma. And so I went to pick out some things from my stash. And you guys, okay, so sometimes I put my drawings in my book. And I was born in 1971, so I was raised in the 80s. So I'm Generation X. All the cartoons, Strawberry Shortcake, Care Bears, the Smurfs, Rainbow Bright, all of those things are part of my childhood. And of course, thinking of my grandma, that's part of my childhood. We stayed at my grandma's every weekend. She was always involved in our lives. And so I knew I had a drawing of this strawberry house from a reference photo I had seen. I don't know if it was in a coloring book. I believe it was a coloring book of Strawberry Shortcake or something like that. So this reminded me of Strawberry Shortcake. So I grabbed that out and I looked on my desk, and I have these Post-it notes that my daughter had gotten me. So I grabbed those. And of course, we've got to have some pom-pom trim. I love to have the things sticking out of the top and sides of my pages. And I happen to have some Strawberry Shortcake stickers. So we're not using Happy Planner stickers today. We're going to use these. And I have some red heart stickers. I couldn't find any actual strawberry stickers except for a couple that are on these sticker sheets. So I thought maybe this could represent some strawberries if I needed them. I'm not sure. And then of course I grabbed some magazine clip out. Okay, now I can't talk today. I grabbed some magazine words that I had cut out. And this one struck me. I like to have have a title on my page, and I usually use alpha stickers. Well, I seen this in my box of magazine cutouts. That's the word I'm looking for. Holy cow, guys, why couldn't I think of that? Anyways, this is my box of magazine cutouts, and sometimes when I'm bored, I will go through magazines and cut things out and add it to it. So that's what I went through, and that stuck out to me, and I think that's going to be a good title for today. So I grabbed that, and then there are a few others. I don't know if we'll use them. It's always a crapshoot on which things we're going to use, but that's what I've gathered up today. And then I grabbed this piece of scrapbook paper. I guess I'm not in frame, am I? Okay, I grabbed this piece of scrapbook paper. I thought that makes a nice sky for our strawberry house. So anyways, that's what we're doing today. So let's glue on our background paper. So yeah, my grandma, first of all, I'm the oldest of 7, and I was the first grandchild. And I have 3 sisters and 3 brothers. And for the first 5 years of my life, I had no siblings. It was just me. So I was the only grandchild. And spent a lot of time with my grandma and grandpa. My grandpa, I fondly call Popeye. I guess when I was little, they were trying to get me to say Papa, and it came out and sounded like Popeye. And so that's what was his name from then on. All of us called him Popeye. But anyway, so I spent a lot of time at my grandma and Popeye's, and it was always a good time. Always a good time. You know, Grandma did the Friday night pizza, and we watched Murder, She Wrote, and Saturday mornings we're eating the good cereal on the Davenport, watching Funny Pictures, and just all good memories. Yeah, she was a pretty amazing human, and she taught me all about unconditional love, because you could get into big trouble, and Grandma would tell you what you did wrong and what you need to do different and all the things. But then she would hug you and tell you she loves you and sit you down and feed you. She's always making sure you had a hot course meal. That's what Grandma called it. Yeah, she's a great human. And anyways, there were 7 of us, and she would always say she was young. She was young when she had my dad. She's my dad's mom, by the way. Oh, I'm a little crooked. But she was young when she had my dad, and my dad was young when they had me. And so she would always say, I made her a grandma early. I need my bigger scissors. And that she grew up with us kids. She would always say that. I grew up with you kids. And she was the young at heart, fun grandma. She was the first one when there was a snow day from school to gather up everything and let's go sled riding down the hill. And yeah, she was just young at heart and enjoyed life and gave no care to what other people thought. She was just having a good time. So, okay, let's stick this on. What do you think? Down at the bottom, we're going to put our title up here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's grab a glue stick. So how is everyone? I have to say it has been warm and sunshiny in Pennsylvania this week. We're getting the pool together. So excited. Took the grandbaby to the playground. Was that yesterday? What is today? Today is Thursday. So no, that would have been Tuesday. We took one of the grandbabies to the playground. The other one had physical therapy. So while she was at therapy with her mom, we took the other one to the playground. And that was a lot of fun. And we've gotten the water table and the splash pad out at Grammy's house. So hopefully now summer has started, or at least a nice spring. You know, I've been waiting for the warm and the sunshine. And it's here. So pretty happy about that. That's one thing I'm sad about, that my grandbabies won't get to know my grandma. My kids, I mean, because my grandma and parents had kids so young, my kids got to know their great grandma. My kids are all grown. They are, let me see if I can get this right, because we just had birthdays. They are 26, soon to be 28, no, soon to be 29, and 30. And grandma died, like, I think it was like about 5 years ago. I'm sure my youngest will correct me. But they got to know her. They got to grow up having that great grandma. And so that's pretty cool. I mean, very, very blessed for that. Now I'm wondering, you know, I like to round the corners, and I'm wondering if we put, do we put this on a little border? Yes, I think we're gonna put that on a little border. If you wonder how I just grabbed that paper out of just out of the air, I have a box right here on my desk that is full of scraps that I keep on my desk. And I like to go through that first before I go to the stash of, you know, paper that hasn't been cut yet. I like to hit my scraps first. And it's getting pretty full, so obviously I'm not using them as much as I should. Okay, put that back in the box. Let's round the corners. So how is everybody? How is the weather where you are? Is it springtime weather for you? I know other parts of the world, you are probably headed into fall, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really good with that. Okay, let's glue this on. Here we go. All right, go for it. Now, you're probably thinking, Stace, where are you putting your quote? And I think that's what I'm going to use these Post-its for. My daughter is so sweet about getting me things from my childhood, because I think I've mentioned it before, but if you don't know me, I didn't know. Oh, is this going to fit? We didn't think about that before we put this on, huh? See if we can stick it down here. I didn't know as an adult. Oh yeah, that'll work, right? Yeah, that'll work. I have to write the quote on there. But I didn't know as an adult that I was allowed to collect stickers and fun stuff, you know? And which sounds silly, because here I am talking about my grandma who was young at heart, but I didn't know that I was allowed to do that. And when I found out, it was absolutely amazing to me. And so I collect all the things, and I have all the little trinket toys, and I have regular crayons that aren't my granddaughter's, and coloring books and stuff that are mine, you know. And anyways, my daughter, my youngest, she holds me up and always is finding me the coolest stuff. And look, guys, she found me the strawberry shortcake cup with the little strawberry on top. She's got me a Care Bear one, a Rainbow Bright one, a Smurf one. Bless her heart. And she finds me these little things and the stickers. And for Christmas, she got me a gift certificate for a tattoo, because I always joked I wanted a Rainbow Bright tattoo. Well, it was a pipe dream, guys. I didn't really have a plan on doing that. As you can see, I have homemade tattoos that I got when I was a kid, from a lady who would do it for a pack of cigarettes with a homemade gun. Not advisable. It was a bad idea. But I always wanted to cover them up, but it was just a pipe dream. And anyways, my daughter took my pipe dream seriously and got me a gift certificate. And so I just recently got a tattoo covered up on my shoulder that I really wanted covered, and I got Rainbow Bright. And I'll have to show it to you sometime. I don't have the camera set up for that right now, but yeah, that's just part of, like this quote says, you know, don't age with grace. Age with mischief, audacity, and a good story to tell. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the quote on here, and then I'll be back and we'll finish the page. 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. We got the quote wrote. Oh, goodness. Now my puppy wants to bark. But I didn't account when I wrote it for the leaf. And I don't want to put it on top. Let's see. Piper, that's enough. She's a grumpy Yorkie. She hears any little noise and she goes into protection mode. She's got to protect her Grammy. Okay, guys, hang on 1 second. Let me get her. All right, sorry, guys, about that. Yeah, she hears the littlest noise and she goes straight into protection mode. Sound asleep on the bed. And she is full on alert and ready to protect. Okay, I think we're going to have to stick it there. Yeah, that works. All right. Let's glue this on. Okay. Right about there. And then we'll glue these leaves back on. There we go. Okay, that works. Now I have these, and I have my stickers. Oh, and my pom-pom trim. Completely forgetting what I got here. Okay, do we have enough room for the pom-pom trim? Da-da-da-da. I want it to cover up the words. I'm all twisted here. It should be okay. Well, wonder if we put it on top. Oops, I got some clippings stuck to me. Wonder if we put this one on top. What do you think? I think we can do that. We'll stick it on top. Okay. Let's see, I'll turn it this way. Grab the stapler here. Oh goodness, why is this being so fiddly? Okay. All right. Well, that's a little crooked. That's okay. Evidently, stapling from the top is a little more fiddly than stapling on the side. Oh no, I got a pom-pom stuck in that staple. Okay. Let's cut off this little string here. All right. There we go. It's on. Oh, I might have to, I think I'm going to put a little glue on that right there. I don't know if this is the right glue to do that with, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, let that dry. Put the pin back in. All right, so we got that. Now we have our cute little strawberry shortcake stickers, and I was thinking about maybe finding one to put like outside the house. Like that wheelbarrow one is cute for outside the house. The basket. Oh, I like the bicycle. Was that too big? Is that too big? Well, we're going to stick her on. There we go. That's cute. And we got the sunshine. Let's use the sunshine. Put that right there. All right, and I wanted to use some strawberries. Oh, look, there's some flowers. Let's put these flowers down. Give us a little more flowers in the picture. Okay, we got some strawberries. I'll put those right there. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Like, nostalgia is, you know, super potent, you know, invokes all kinds of feelings. And I don't know, I love sharing with my granddaughters these cartoon characters, and I don't know, giving them a little taste of my childhood, and, you know, exposure to different things. I don't know, it's fun. Okay, I have these. Now, it says, don't try to age with grace, age with mischief, audacity, and a good story to tell. And so I have some words I got out of the magazine cutouts. I have regret nothing. I have oh snap, because I just feel like that just is silly and makes it work. Bring out the bold. I don't know what we're going to use here. Let's see what we have. Make it unforgettable. In it to win it. And call us wild. Okay. Let me put that back out of the way. I really want to use make it unforgettable and regret nothing in the oh snap. So let's start there. Do we put that on the side? I feel like this should go down here with strawberry shortcake. Like she's saying it. Or maybe this kitty is saying it. Yeah, let's put it right there. Let's put that right down there. That just sounds like something my grandma would have said if that was a thing that was said in her world. Okay, go for it. I think make it unforgettable. I'm going to put right underneath that. I need to write on here who has more fun than we do. I did a flip through one time. I have this memory keeping junk journal. I haven't worked in it in a really long time, but I did a flip through of like my junk journals and my art journals on this channel back before. And there's a page in there dedicated to my grandma and my grandma's house. And if you haven't seen, I'll link it down below in the description. If you want to go check it out. There's other journals, like it's not just that one memory keeping junk journal in the flip throughs, but the one is the memory keeping one has a page dedicated to my grandma's house, and it is very cool. And I'm thinking that's where I should put who has more fun than we do, or do another page about my grandma. So do you have fond memories of your grandma? Is your grandma still alive? All of that stuff. I know, like, in my era, my generation, whatever you want to call it, I think grandparents were around more. I don't know. It seemed that way, at least in my world. Most of my friends had grandparents that were actively involved and around in their lives, like mine. And my kids, I know their generation, that seems to be less. And now, like, people my age, I feel like are trying to make that come back and be part of their grandkids' lives more so. And I know I've had a couple subscribers, and we've talked about, I watched my first granddaughter before I got sick. Instead of sending her to daycare, I watched her while my daughter worked. And I know another subscriber that I have, she also watched her grandkid while her kids worked. Where are we putting this strawberry? Right here. Okay, so we regret nothing. Make it unforgettable. We've got our kitty. Well, we should probably put the puppy. What was the kitty's name? Was Custard. And is this Pupcake? Am I remembering that right? Custard and Pupcake. And this is Lemon Meringue. What is this? Blueberry Muffin, Huckleberry Pie, Raspberry Tart, maybe? Like, I like Strawberry Shortcake. This is Orange Blossom. I like Strawberry Shortcake, but like I said, Rainbow Bright was more my favorite. As a matter of fact, I think I did a Rainbow Bright page. I didn't film it. This was when I was coming back from after my health issues. I think I colored this from a coloring book with like acrylic paint pens, and I had this quote, and I just glued her down, and then I had some Rainbow Bright stickers. Yeah. Okay, we need something right here. I want a strawberry there, but I don't see any more strawberries on there. Oh, we've got this cloud. Look, guys. That is perfect. I think I want to cut the white out around it a little bit more. Cut the words off. These are cute little Post-its. And that was another learning experience for me, watching when I first started watching YouTube videos about junk journaling and creative journaling and all of that stuff. Like, you can use anything. It doesn't have to, how does that look, guys? It doesn't have to, like, this is a Post-it note. You don't have to use it for just like a normal Post-it note. Like, you can stick it in your journal and use it like a sticker, like a picture. I know that sounds silly. I'm telling you, I lived under a rock. I really did. For a lot of, most of my life. Okay, so we've got them. I feel like I should have her friends, but we're running out of room. We need one more butterfly. Yeah, so now I went crazy collecting. you know, like I said, we go thrifting and flea markets and yard sales and all of that stuff. And always collecting little toys, you know, little figurines. Like, I don't know, have you seen people online doing trinket shelves and like using those printing, what are they, printing cases or whatever, and they hang them on the wall and use them as trinket shelves and collect little trinkets to put in? I have so many little toys. Let me show you. Let me see if I can grab something here. Okay, like this little Winnie the Pooh piglet thing I collected. Mario Kart. This is like a McDonald's toy. You know, like I have those kind of things laying around. I also have fidgets that are stacked around my craft room. The little poppets. My granddaughters love coming up here. Not just to art and craft, but to play with Grammy's toys. So yeah, I'd like to find one of those printer boxes and make a trinket shelf with all my silly little toys. And my one granddaughter, the second one, she is severely delayed for a lot of reasons. But anyways, she loves Mickey and Minnie Mouse. I mean, obsessed. She loves them. She has this little figure that she carries around, a little stuffed animal that she carries around of Minnie. And at Grammy's house, we have some books of Minnie and Mickey, and she carries those around and looks at them, and she's obsessed with Minnie and Mickey. And so we were at Aldi's grocery store one day, me and my daughter, and we were grocery shopping, and we had the kids, and they had Mickey and Minnie kitchen mats. And my other granddaughter, she said, Grammy, she said, you need to get those for my sister. And I was like, oh, you're right. And so we ended up buying the mats, and I let them pick out 2 mats, and they are in my kitchen. And then there was towels too with Mickey Mouse on them, and they got them for me for Mother's Day. That was part of my Mother's Day present. And so they're hanging up. So then I found at a yard sale, a little ceramic Minnie Mouse that somebody had painted or whatever, and I put that on my coffee bar, and just different things, and she just loves them. She loves them so much. And I just want to be that fun grandma, you know? I want to be like my grandma, who has more fun than we do, and for them to have those awesome memories at Grammy's house. It's super important to me. And it's a lot of fun for me too. Stay young at heart, just like my grandma did. But anyways, oh, we need something right there. What can we put there? I like to have my page full. If you've not noticed, I will put a million stickers on my page. That is for sure. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. I know I rambled. I rambled a lot, but I'm very proud to tell the story of my grandma. She was an amazing human. But so I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. It's Thursday. This is going out Friday, Saturday. I think I have it planned. And so I hope you have an amazing weekend. And yeah, thank you for being here. And you guys, thanks for the comments. Gosh, I love reading them. You guys are great. And I will see you next time. Bye.